A peaceful evening in Lakewood, New Jersey turned into a national nightmare when a 27-year-old mother, Naomi Elkins, made a chilling call that would shock the country. What seemed like a tragic accident soon revealed a story of deep mental illness, religious delusion, and unimaginable loss. This heartbreaking case forced a community, and a nation, to ask, how did no one see this coming? Today's story is more than just an incident, it's a lesson. If you want to help raise awareness about the importance of understanding and treating mental health issues, like this video, share it, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Remember, sometimes silence can be more dangerous than a scream. In a deeply harrowing case that shook the peaceful community of Lakewood, New Jersey, 27-year-old Naomi Elkins was arrested during the summer of 2024 for the tragic and brutal killing of her two young daughters, aged 1 and 3. The shocking incident unfolded on June 25, 2024. Marking a day that would forever haunt the residents of the town and reverberate across the nation. Naomi Elkins, a daycare worker and mother, was described by those who knew her as quiet and introverted. But no one could have imagined the devastating storm of events that would shatter her family's life and the larger community. The timeline of this heartbreaking case begins around 6:30 p.m., when Naomi returned home from her job at a local daycare center. Uniquely, her daughters were enrolled in the same daycare, which meant they spent most of their time together during the day. According to testimony provided later in court, Naomi appeared normal to her co-workers and the children's teachers. However, something had already begun to shift internally. According to a psychologist who later testified in court, Naomi began to experience dark thoughts shortly after reaching home. These intrusive thoughts, as she described them, convinced her that her children were in danger, or worse, that they were the source of evil she needed to eliminate. By 7:15 p.m., Naomi made a chilling call to Hatzolah Medical Services, a well-known volunteer emergency response organization that primarily serves Lakewood's Jewish community. Her words over the phone sent shivers down the spine of the dispatcher. "I did something to my kids. They're drowning." The responders expected a possible accident involving water, perhaps a case of drowning due to parental negligence. But what awaited them was beyond comprehension. Paramedics rushed to the home, where they discovered the two toddlers unresponsive. CPR efforts began immediately, but tragically, both girls were pronounced dead at the scene. Emergency vehicles filled the quiet street, turning urgency into horror. Police secured the home while paramedics worked, but it was too late. Naomi was taken into custody shortly after responders arrived. Bodycam footage showed her being quietly escorted into a police vehicle, displaying an unnerving demeanor, cooperative yet distant.
One back there, I don't know whose that is. Mine's like a block and a half away. Yeah, hey Vin, is your car nearby?
Officers noted she appeared emotionless and confused, requiring repeated instructions to respond. Inside the house, detectives began carefully piecing together a crime scene that would soon become one of the most talked about cases of the year. The rooms were eerily quiet. The atmosphere, described by investigators, was haunting. Two bathtubs, one in the main bathroom and one in the ensuite, had become the site of an unthinkable act.
One of the bathrooms, but I don't want to walk away from major crimes and CSI. Come photograph everything.
According to statements Elkins later made to police, she first stabbed her younger daughter, only 22 months old, in the chest and stomach. After the stabbing, she held her underwater until she stopped breathing. Her 3-year-old daughter, who had witnessed the gruesome act, attempted to hide. Naomi, however, reportedly found her and led her to a separate bathroom where she drowned her as well. Naomi later stated her motive was religious in nature. She believed that her daughters were the embodiment of evil, and that by killing them, she could rid the world of darkness. She admitted to the acts during questioning, and her calm demeanor while recounting the details sent chills through the investigating team. Elkins explained that she had always struggled with negative thoughts, but they had become more intense and overwhelming in recent weeks. She said she had come to believe that a divine force had chosen her for this mission. Elkins's husband was reportedly away on a business trip at the time of the murders. He had left just a day earlier, leaving Naomi alone with the children. Detectives later confirmed that there were no signs of prior domestic abuse, and the family had no history with social services. The husband was described as completely blindsided and devastated by the loss of his children and the involvement of his wife in such an act. Friends and neighbors expressed shock, stating that the family had seemed happy, and the children were always well cared for. During the legal proceedings that followed, the courtroom remained packed with journalists, family members, and members of the Lakewood community. The question on everyone's mind was, how could a mother commit such a horrifying act? The answer began to take shape through the testimony of Dr. Johnny Pirelli, a forensic psychologist brought in by the defense. Dr. Pirelli testified that Naomi Elkins had been suffering from a severe mental illness at the time of the killings. According to his evaluation, she was experiencing a psychotic break, marked by delusions and hallucinations. He explained that Naomi was not in control of her actions when the crime took place. Her sense of reality had become so distorted that she genuinely believed she was saving the world by committing this act. Dr. Pirelli emphasized that Naomi had a documented history of mental instability, including previous episodes of depression and religious delusions. However, she had never received consistent psychiatric treatment, and her condition had significantly worsened in the months leading up to the murders. This testimony introduced complexities to the case. While the prosecution acknowledged the brutality and calculated nature of the murders, the defense contended that Naomi lacked criminal responsibility due to her mental state. Judge Guy P. Ryan confronted a formidable challenge: to administer justice for the two young victims while considering the potential that their mother may not have been fully cognizant of the gravity of her actions. In the aftermath of this tragic crime, the Lakewood community initiated efforts to promote mental health awareness. Religious leaders, mental health professionals, and educators advocated for families to seek assistance for mental health concerns and to recognize warning signs, thereby fostering discussions aimed at destigmatizing mental health issues. Naomi was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, with bail denied. While largely unresponsive in court, she exhibited a calm demeanor. Prosecutors pursued the maximum sentence, while the defense sought psychiatric care. As the trial progressed, the courtroom was filled with tension, with friends and family members visibly affected as evidence was presented. The sentencing hearing took place in early 2025, and public opinion was sharply divided by that time. Some believed Naomi deserved life in prison without the possibility of parole. Others thought she should be committed to a psychiatric facility indefinitely. Judge Ryan ultimately found her guilty but mentally ill, a classification that allows for both punishment and treatment. She was sentenced to life imprisonment with the recommendation that she receive intensive psychiatric care while in custody. The case sent shockwaves across New Jersey and beyond, becoming a topic of extensive media coverage, discussions, and online documentaries. The real tragedy was the impact on 2 innocent children, whose futures were stolen by the very person meant to protect them. Vigils were held, and tributes were left outside the family home. This case will be remembered for raising important questions about mental health, parental responsibility, and the justice system's role. The Elkins case highlighted the failures in addressing mental illness before it leads to such devastating outcomes. It forced a community, and a nation, to confront the uncomfortable truth that even those we trust most can be struggling silently. In the end, while Naomi Elkins has been held accountable in a court of law, the emotional scars left behind remain raw. Her husband, now a grieving father, must live with the knowledge that the mother of his children became their killer. Family and friends continue to mourn, asking themselves if they missed signs or could have done something to prevent the tragedy. The Lakewood community has vowed to turn its grief into action by promoting mental health education, offering counseling services, and encouraging open conversations about emotional well-being. The story of Naomi Elkins is one of unimaginable sorrow but also a critical reminder. Mental illness can manifest in unpredictable and devastating ways when left untreated. It's a call for compassion, vigilance, and the urgent need to make mental health care accessible for all. The justice system may have delivered its verdict, but healing, for the family, for Lakewood, and for anyone touched by this tragedy, will take much longer. The Naomi Elkins case is a stark reminder of the devastating effects untreated mental illness can have. 2 innocent lives were lost, and a family was forever changed. As we reflect on this tragedy, let it serve as a call for greater mental health awareness, compassion, and support in our communities. No one should suffer in silence.